Bup.
All right. We're good.
All right, motherfucker.
You're going to have to move, baby man.
You've got a very rude baby man taking your seat.
Rude baby man.
Look into my eyes. You can see the pain of a grooming victim.
A grooming victim, yeah.
I've been groomed to love femboys.
Yeah, just constant psychic assaults.
Nothing but 24/7 psychic torture.
Every time I turn on the computer, it's just like, bam, femboy porn.
I love it.
Yeah, and sinister old guys on Discord.
Grooming you.
Filling my head with bad ideas.
I need to kill homeless people and be a femboy.
Yeah, it's the only way.
It's the only way to reach the future that we deserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
To reach.
Yeah. Welcome back to Jonboy's podcast, the only gaming channel.
Yeah, the only channel for gaming for for loving gaming.
We should probably keep that on the Patreon.
Yeah. YouTube's not gonna like that.
Declaring ourselves a gaming podcast from the first minute is probably not the most algorithm
we might have to bleep that.
Yeah, if you want to find out what was under that beep, tune into the Patreon.
We're gonna have to beep that all. Yeah, that's definitely no way to start a YouTube podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Freaked out a little bit.
It's the first minute. It's just
got a little excited there.
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah, for here, we're just a normal gaming podcast.
Chill, regular style.
Yeah. What's new in gaming? Microtransactions, bad.
They're still bad.
Wokeness,
awful. It's done.
Yeah, I
don't know.
That's probably what's going on with gaming news. That's your gaming news for the week.
In gaming news, streamer watches video essay and periodically pauses and goes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or, I can't believe that.
Okay, what's the logic here? Why would you say that?
What's the logic?
Clear ad hominem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should become like a debate show and get people on to debate topics that we don't know about.
And just pick a side.
Wrong.
Oh, I would like to do. What's that? Who are those two, like, black misogynist guys who just have like the most retarded women on?
Oh, is that Fresh and Fit?
Maybe.
I heard of them this week because I know they have some drama going on.
Oh.
And it's one of those things where like I just don't want to look into it.
No.
But I did hear that one of them wrote a book called Why Women Deserve Less.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I'm not really sure. I know there's something going on, but it's one of those things where it's just like I don't want to know.
No, I don't. No, looking into it is like actively eating rocks.
Yeah. I mean, right now my brain I'm in a sort of grooming duel on multiple Discords. You know, am I going to be groomed? Am I going to groom you? So I don't have.
It's very much like an Undertaker versus Kane thing.
Yeah, and
who's getting choke slammed?
I don't have the mental capacity right now to take on to learn who new internet streamers are.
Yeah, you're online being like.
Yeah, I'm already in a battle of wits against multiple 15-year-olds.
I ended up. All of them groomed me. I lost every one of them. I got groomed.
Yeah, getting groomed as a 45-year-old man on Discord.
All of them groomed me into killing homeless people.
Yeah.
Every single one I fell for it.
Yeah.
I've been training my psychic, and I broke immediately.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah, just like, ooh, Discord, I hear you get to groom people on there. Like 15 minutes later. Like the femboy thing.
You're
homeless guy blood all over you. No.
Shit, man. I don't even know what happened. Yeah. This is supposed to be a Minecraft server. What the hell happened?
It do be like that, though. Be careful up there, fellas.
Watch out.
I mean, if it could happen to me, it could happen to anybody.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
Everybody knows me. My mind's like a steel trap.
Yeah.
And I'd long taken pride in being one of the most ungroomable guys out there. And I thought I'd be fine.
Yeah. And then look where you are now.
Look at me now.
Look who you. When I got here, I knocked on the door, and you were like, "Hold on!" And you were taking your skirt off. You were putting jeans on.
Yeah, I just answered the door fully nude with like 2 inches of makeup on. It's like, just chill for 5 minutes. I just have to deal with something real quick.
You're wearing a silk robe. You're like, hold on. You had a martini. They groom you to be like a like a Florida housewife.
Yeah, and then you went into my room and you just hear weeping through the door. Like, no, sir, please, no.
Yeah, you had to get permission to record the podcast.
Yeah.
And wear normal clothes.
You hear some evil sounding teenager's voice.
How funny would it be if one of us had like a secret Chris Chan level like online presence?
Oh.
I was thinking about that. Like if how like after like one of us just our entire life we'd been like battling trolls privately online. Just like putting stuff up our asses to get our PSN accounts. Because I was thinking about like would that who in my life can you think of people who like if you found out they were in a Chris Chan predicament your opinion of them wouldn't change?
Wait, am I that to you?
No. No, but I do know people like that.
Do
you know anybody? It's not you.
I mean, there's a couple people. I won't name docs, but there's a couple guys we went to school with.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Not
you
me.
and me.
Yeah, you and me. But yeah, it wouldn't be like that shocking to find out that they had to put shit up their ass to get their like Xbox account back.
It's just such a funny, because Josh King Cobra has the what I would call like optimal troll to guy relationship.
Yeah,
where it's pretty harmless most of the time.
Well, and I feel like he's never really been caught in anything too like deeply humiliating by them. Not like Chris Chan type stuff.
No, I think
like his lizard's dead,
and he ate some cat food. And
yeah, but that owned his trolls.
Yeah, they were seething when he did that.
Yeah, he recontextualized it. They thought they were owning him, but actually they were the ones who were owned.
Yeah, but Chris Chan went about everything leading by his tallywhacker.
Right.
So he was very easy to get somewhere. All you had to do was set up basically breasts and then a stick in a cardboard box, and then you could get Christian anywhere.
I think I saw, who was this? It might have been somebody in our comments said that Josh is like planning to move closer to Jessica.
Oh, I was gonna say shout out Ethan.
Ethan, yeah, that's who it was.
Ethan's always up in the comments, lightly ribbing us. Yeah. And giving us nice feedback. So shout out Ethan.
Yeah.
Chromeboy of the week. Ethan.
I think it was him who was dropping that I assume insider information.
That secret hacker lore.
Yeah. Yeah. That Josh is playing. Where's Jessica from?
Virginia, I think.
I just feel like Josh is the Casper, Wyoming guy.
Yeah, he can't leave Casper.
That would be like if Us Thing podcast left Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, you know?
Damn, I haven't thought about Us Thing. Shout out, please, guys, leave the nicest possible comments on the Us Thing podcast.
I was looking at them the other day, and they have sponsors.
Are you kidding?
They're like sponsored by BetterHelp.
What the fuck? Like two 12-year-old boys.
What I would like, I bought a game yesterday on G2A, which I've used in the past, but I always forget about. But it's just like permanent half price on Steam games.
Oh, sick.
If you're the CEO of G2A watching this right now,
we would love a
sponsorship. It's a good service.
What'd you buy?
I got this one called Terra Invicta.
That's a very you game to buy.
Yeah, it's like this group that they made some like big mods for the XCOM games.
Oh, okay.
That like kind of like these long war ones.
They turned it into Sexcom?
Sexcom, yeah, the biggest anime sex mods for
Sexcom too.
And it's sort of like an alien invasion strategy thing.
Cool.
But yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was like less than half price on G2A.
I did notice that we had some guys who completed their quests from last week. I saw on Will's special there were a couple fuck you Hannigan's.
Oh, were there?
Boys for life.
Nice. I didn't actually check, but that rules. Shout out
you guys. I saw them and I was like, oh, nice. Fuck you. Someone, I forget who it was, someone misspelled it. They're like, fuck you, Habigan. Chrome Boys for life.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Good work, fellas.
Good work, dudes.
I did not check, but that rules.
That's so funny. Yeah, so if you could, your next quest, we're leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
Target the CEO of G2A. Fuck you, Tim Spencer or whatever.
Yeah.
Chrome Boys for life.
Fuck you, Chang Chong. I assume.
Yeah, we need.
It's a good though, even though they're not currently sponsoring us yet.
It's a good service.
Yeah,
I've never used it.
it's real.
It's just cheap.
You just go on and they have like every Steam game. It's just like half price or less.
Oh, swag.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look into that.
And you just get a code and you can like enter that in Steam and you get the game.
I'm gonna look into that for acquiring Hentai Femdom Simulator.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got big discounts on Hentai Femgo. it's Hentai Femboy month over at G2. Over at our friends on G2A.
Friends of the show G2A are having Hentai Femboy month.
Yeah.
The entire month of April, get any femboy or hentai game for free.
Yeah, just don't. They will try and sign you up for a subscription.
Don't take it.
Don't take it.
Okay.
You don't need it.
That's pro gaming tips.
For our friends at G2A. I don't know where the fuck they get them. I think they're like they get stolen credit cards and use those to buy the games and resell them or something.
That's very Crow Boys coded.
Yeah, don't worry about it though.
That's
It's
fine.
cool.
That's all good. Yeah, I'd love a G2A sponsorship.
Yeah.
Speaking of being Asian, though, I had an idea for because I did a show at a brewery last week. And while I was in there,
brewery.
A brewery. And I had an idea for my own. The Chrome Boys brewery.
Yeah.
We could call it Behind Brew Eyes, and then we'd only hire Chinese people.
Okay.
And then
I
when
like
people
it.
come in, they go, "Welcome to Behind Brew Eyes," and then people don't realize that they're like, "Oh, these guys just don't speak English."
Yeah.
But actually, we're setting them up to fail
How so?
by titling the business Behind Brew Eyes.
Oh, I
These people
getcha.
are like, "Come on, learn the name of the place."
That's a very Yakubian scheme.
It's a very evil plan I had. But I just like the idea of it being called Behind Brew Eyes and having nothing but like old Chinese guys working.
Oh, because like Blue and Brew.
Yeah.
And it's a brewery.
Yeah, and we
Brilliant.
only play Limp Bizkit's cover of Behind Blue Eyes. No one knows what it's like.
I haven't actually heard that cover.
It's crazy.
That sounds wild to imagine Fred Durst doing that.
Yeah, it's a weird cover. Yeah, I don't hate
Yeah.
it though.
Yeah.
It kind of goes pretty hard.
Well, we're one of the top Limp Bizkit apologist podcasts out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Putting my masters of Limp Bizkit apologetics to work.
Yeah. That's Limp Bizkit, to my knowledge, never have they been in like controversies?
I think only in that they're like white boys who are a little more swag than the powers that be like to see.
Yeah.
I mean, because there was like Woodstock 99,
which is not really
where
their
their break
fault.
stuff amped everybody
Yeah,
up and they
yeah.
broke some stuff.
Yeah. That's yeah, I'm going to say Woodstock, not like everything. The fault falls on the like hundreds of millions of sludge people who turn up to things.
Right.
It's not Limp Bizkit's
Yeah,
fault.
I mean, Chrome Boys listeners don't go anywhere.
No,
That's
sir.
why there will never be a controversy in our community.
No, we will never get a bad rap for doing
We don't
it.
go outside.
We stay inside.
Yeah.
We goon.
We
We listen to
goon.
pods.
We listen to pods.
We smoke weed.
Yeah.
We spray bug spray.
And we groom online, which isn't even a crime in most states.
It's just totally fine. We stay inside. We goon. We groom.
Yeah, the 3 G's of Chrome Boyism: gooning, grooming, and
Gaming.
gaming.
Actually,
Can't
I
go
just
wrong
wanted,
with that.
I'm feeling very. I was just looking through like the comments we're getting.
Yeah.
You guys have been also again. Shout out to the guys for riding the real wave so well.
Yeah.
I like that. I love that.
We were the first ones to use that term.
Yes.
Just like how we coined the term gooning.
Yeah.
Which no one had heard of before.
We're always on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
Always on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
But shout out to the guys again for hitting the reel in the comments so often.
Yeah.
I love to see that.
Yeah, hitting
like
the
seeing
reel.
In other people's comments after too.
Telling Will Habigan what's up.
Fuck you, Abigail. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are really holding it down.
Yeah.
So stay gooning, stay
We're crushing.
gaming, stay crushing.
We're gooning. We're crushing. And we're doing things on Discord that we don't need to talk about.
We're gonna look. It says something to do with Homo Galacticus.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
The Homo Galacticus. Right. I have to get that episode out. But
I tried to look into that after our episode.
Yeah.
And looking it up on YouTube just brings you nothing but like weird black metal.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah, that kind of makes because there was definitely like a wing of that in black metal, of like satanic Hitlerist black metal.
Yeah,
because like, if you look it up on like Google, I found you only get like like anti-extremism organizations and stuff. If you look it up on Yandex, you can find like direct to the source.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that was my problem.
Or if you look up parapolitical podcasts.
You're heavy on those lately.
Yeah. Well, actually, the other day, I haven't seen them recently, but like real old heads of the show will recall, like one of our first episodes, we delved into the Super Soldier program.
Oh, yeah.
And like they've kind of left YouTube.
Oh.
But they have some like dumb little conference they're promoting, so you had to stream.
We should go.
And I hopped over to the Rumble account, which is where it's at. And man, the Super Soldier program, they're the disclosure community.
Okay.
Like how all the conspiracy wings like come up with new terms. Right? So it's like parapolitics, disclosure.
Yeah.
And it's kind of degraded.
Has it fallen off?
These guys need to be, this is going to sound harsh, but these guys need to be gatekeeping women out of their community.
Well,
because I will say women are a big part of the parapolitical community.
Right.
They're some of the best ones.
Right.
But like, 'cause I remember the old Super Soldier stuff. It'd be like some weird guy.
Weird
like,
bald
oh,
guy.
and then like the Megatronic Corporation gave me like this drug, and it gave me this powers, and I fought the lizards in space and stuff.
Yeah.
But their new ones, it's all like the main guy who's this extremely like nervous little man who's always like stuttering and sweating and stuff. Interviewing like middle-aged women who are like recovering their memories that actually they're like angels who are fighting like Archangel Michael and shit.
Okay.
And it's really lost its science-y veneer.
So, yeah.
And there was one kind of like sublime moment on one of them where he's talking to this lady who's like, recovered all her memories that, she was in the secret space program where she was a sex assassin and child sex slave. Just kind of like, all right, lady, come on.
That's the lady who's been kicked out of a few D&D groups.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing the child sex slave thing.
But then
Tabitha.
Our host, James Rank, is like, what do you think about this? And he just brings up like the Google image search of Kevin Spacey. And the lady is like, I have nothing with Kevin Spacey that I recall yet. You just know in like 2 days she's going to have a recollection of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see the spaceman out in the wild.
He's getting brought up on Schizo Basement podcasts.
Yeah.
On PGL cover podcasts.
Yeah.
He's getting brought up at Super Soldier program conferences. He's really reached a new level of
And the guy, James Rank, he just like didn't like adjust the screen for like 15 minutes after that. So it was just like 15 minutes of like the first thing you get when you Google search Kevin Spacey. Is this chick's talking about her recovered memories when she was a space sex assassin?
Okay, here's how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think whenever you have any sort of movement that is particularly enticing to retarded guys,
Yeah.
various mentally ill people,
Yeah.
and you see that with like mentally ill women are going to find a way to get involved and then make it about how they used to have a better life.
And how they used to be sex assassins.
Yeah. I've seen that in like a couple of other places.
Yeah.
Like
it was so much more cool when it was like the guys would get really specific.
They were doing Helldivers shit.
Yeah,
literally
how they used to be Helldivers. That literally is
Yeah,
it.
the guys were like, I had dreams about being a Helldiver.
Because, I mean, some people might not remember the space program, the Super Soldier program episode, because it was like episode like 2 or something.
Back when we used to do 1 3-hour episode every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I will say the Super Soldier talk.
Yeah.
They have one of the best intros in the game.
Yes,
Like,
I remember
it
that.
It is up there with our intro. Shout out Jonboy.
Shout out Jonboy.
But it's like PS1 looking graphics
Yes.
of like, a super jacked guy in one of those like circles that spins you around.
I remember that.
And then like the guy pops on and he's like this like 95-pound nervous man. And for those who don't know, the Super Soldier program is part of the secret space program.
Yeah.
Where basically they use like it's like these people who like recover their memories of basically being hell divers.
Yeah.
And fighting like lizards and shit.
I think, and you see that like even like there's a stark difference between QAnon men and QAnon women.
Yes.
QAnon women, it's more about me.
Yeah.
You know?
Though I will say some of the top QAnons are women.
QMom.
Like middle-aged women
Yeah.
are some of Q's strongest soldiers.
Yes.
There's one of them, it's not QMom, but it's like something very similar to that.
Yeah.
She always posts pictures. She used to follow Trump around dressed in like this sort of Captain America, Uncle Sam costume. And she'll always like post about, she's a big like alive dead
Right.
person.
Right.
But then occasionally she'll just post like, me and my husband got divorced 15 years ago, but we still live together.
Yeah.
She rules.
Anytime there's like a movement that is like particularly enticing for you're 90 IQ and below,
Yeah.
poor people,
Yeah.
it gets a wave of like these women who would otherwise fall into the glue trap of like they'd be doing ayahuasca visions in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be doing they'd be finding repressed memories of like sexual abuse that never happened anyway.
Right, yeah. And I think that's part of the appeal of the secret super soldier program.
Yeah.
Is that it's all about like these like past lives and stuff, so you can just like remember it.
Yeah.
So this one chick was on there being like, oh, I would always see like, shadows when I was 6, but I didn't realize it was anything until I started spent 2 years watching nothing but super soldier program stuff, and then I uncovered the memories that actually I was in it too.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, it's the same people it's the same personality build that would like go to therapy like twice and then be like, actually, it's not my fault that I keep being like a total like disaster on an interpersonal level.
Well, that's part of it, because you would kind of assume that super soldiers would be like impressive physical specimens, which is not the case at all.
Never.
Because it's using like alternate dimensional personalities and shit like that.
Yeah, it's your being, it's not your body.
And yeah, he had one guy on who's like this like big fat, extremely crazy looking black guy. And like he didn't say this for any of the other ones, but right off the bat he's just kind of like, well, you can see that being in the super soldier program causes a lot of problems for people, and it usually looks pretty bad. Like, anyway, we go out and it's like this like black guy with like his hair all in his face with like huge dark circles who's just like rocking back and forth.
Oh my god.
And,
damn, that would be a crazy hang to like go to that convention.
Oh yeah, I believe if you're in the Las Vegas area, check it out. Super Soldier,
Las Vegas, hub for intellectuals and thinkers.
Yeah, well, they can get a cheap little conference room in a hotel.
Yeah. Damn, yeah. If you're in the Las Vegas area, go. Maybe you were a super soldier.
You may well be.
You were if you go there.
Yeah,
you will have been.
Yeah,
but yeah,
shout out Super Soldier Talk. You can find them on Rumble. Just their intro is worth checking out. It's really good.
It is really good.
And then you get to see the small nervous man James Rink interview.
James Rink
interview insane middle-aged women about how they used to be the sexiest assassin in the galaxy.
But it's the same women type as, remember that video, that very viral video of that dude who was talking about how you can project force fields?
Oh,
and then he sprints at that like 45-year-old woman and just tackles her. And then he starts like faking a seizure, and she's just like,
man. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
It's a great video.
It is great.
But like, it's that woman, if she wasn't like roped into, like we were talking about like glue traps, if she didn't get stuck in the like force field, Last Airbender, glue trap.
She could easily get picked up by the Super Soldier program, because it does have the capacity to absorb anyone.
Yes, yeah.
Because it's all like repressed memories.
Yeah, it's not like veterans only or something. Like it's anyone.
Yeah, and it seems like it has a lot of people who like. I don't quite get how it works, but it's not. It's like you're like. your spirit was entangled or something.
Then you were hell diving.
And yeah.
You
Well,
went-
like the older stuff I watched was more literally hell diving,
Mhm.
but these women are all like, and we're, for Jesus, and
Yeah.
I was roped in to fight on,
Yeah.
for
Well,
Archangel Michael, who's
if-
actually my father, and I was the sexiest sex prisoner in the universe.
It's all just like it's the personality type to get asked to not come back to a D&D campaign.
It's literally exactly what happened to the D&D community.
to the what?
The D&D community.
Is that what happened?
They didn't gatekeep hard enough, and look at them now.
It's crazy. I did go down a rabbit hole of like reading like D&D like nightmare stories a little while ago. I found this YouTube channel who just posts like
People who have like nightmares about
no,
D&D?
like they'll upload like just hellish like social interactions they've had.
Oh, okay.
It's some of the funniest shit I've ever heard. It's why I want to do the Gamers Magic Dungeon show or whatever.
Right.
Finding
yeah.
these insane people like Prime. After watching some of these YouTube videos that are just people uploading their personal accounts of crazy Dungeons and Dragons people.
Yeah.
Prime time for the show would be getting like there seems to be this phenotype of like woman that plays D&D that just is there to like find a boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
And Prime would be getting some crazy furry girl
yeah.
to just hound a Norwood 9 with social anxiety for sex.
That would be good, yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking about that, like how my TV producer brain was activating, and I was like, I smell
It would
money.
be perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, just put a camera on her. She's lurking outside.
Yeah, I feel like half the show should be not Dungeons and Dragons and just like reality TV.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Of them just interacting with each other. And
Yeah.
like, what kind of stuff happens in these D&D nightmares? It's just like autistic spurgoids.
It's just spurgs, yeah. It was just
interacting
me
with each other well.
Yeah, it was just like eating candy. It was just nice. Yeah, it's just a bunch of like spurgy shit, like, the edgy guys and dark wizards and whatnot.
Yeah.
Edgy evil.
Edgy evil.
It's literally it's Super Soldier program. Like, I was a child sex slave and now I'm the most dangerous man in the world. And it's like
dangerous half orc.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah.
It's just pure dynamite. But like it's the exact same like personality build as the Super Soldier ladies, as your force field ladies.
Yeah, it's there's all these communities out there where it's just like people's whole lives
Is like
are
a
like
delusion.
thinking about how they're super soldiers.
Their whole life is like, yeah. Well, I think that's
Which is pretty tight. I think I might have been a super soldier.
I think you definitely were.
In different past lives.
Yeah, well, you get up at 4 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Take a cold shower.
Take a cold shower.
When you played Helldivers for the first time, I was there.
Yeah, and I was
were-
like, this is so familiar to me.
You were like, what? You were naturally so gifted. And I was like,
How does he know all the moves?
shoot, jump, run?
I'm like,
How does he know how to do this so
I'm like-
instinctually?
I'm like, brother, it's not my first time. It's not my first drop. My account might say it is, but it's not.
You started yelling.
Yeah.
You were like, for Super Earth! And I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But yeah. I think it's the same. There's just a type of person who will like any sort of like glue trap that will allow them to just kind of live in like fantasy land.
And like I feel like once upon a time these people would just join the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
Because it's quite similar, really.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
uncovering your weird sci-fi repressed memories.
Yeah. But that one costs money.
Right.
D&D is free.
D&D is free. Super Soldier program, you do have to buy James Rink's book, Lone Wolf.
That's fine. His book, American Sniper.
But that's a reasonable cost.
Yeah, that's $8.99 on Amazon, and it's a good read.
Yeah, shout out to our sponsor,
James
Rink.
James Rink and his Super Soldier program.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like you see it sometimes with like, I think it's the same people who like get upset when like video games aren't exactly what they want. Because it's just another means of like living in not living in meat space, you know?
When I game,
I
can be anyone.
When I groom, I can be whatever I want.
filling out my resume, number one thing, Elder Scrolls lore expert. Expert on the history of Tamriel.
Level 685 cleric in Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
I am a lore expert, Harry Potter lore expert. That's what my resume is going to say as I apply to Taco Bell.
Then in brackets, not transphobic.
In brackets, safe.
Safe.
Harry Potter lore expert. I know all of the history of Harry Potter.
Yeah, speaking of history, I've been, I stumbled across this book at my parents' house that's like a history book from the 50s about Cortez and Montezuma.
Oh, cool.
It's called Cortez and Montezuma. But it's...
Is it funny?
I don't know if it's funny. It's like so cool, though.
Yeah.
And especially, I've done some supplementary research, and the one from the 50s just has such like a sick story. But all like the modern historians are kind of like, that probably didn't happen.
Shut up.
Yeah, but like the 50s version is so sick. Even the new versions, you can't make that story like fully bad.
Yeah.
Because it's just so wild.
Right.
But like the 50s one, it's like it's just this like series of coincidences that are so crazy that it's like, damn, the Aztecs must have actually been able to tell the future.
Oh, sick. That rules.
Because like in their religion, it was sort of based around these like malevolent forest gods.
Okay.
Who like you have to like do the sacrifice people's hearts to like
Right.
feed them to keep them happy, because
Right.
if they don't do that, they'll just like wipe everyone the fuck out.
Right.
You know, like the wind will stop blowing or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I say, there's some questions, but a lot of the modern ones, it'll just be like, okay, I'm getting out of order here. Basically, we're going with the 50s one.
Yeah.
'Cause it's so much sicker.
Yeah, yeah.
So they have like all these different gods, and they have this one called Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent.
I'm familiar with that one.
Who, I guess in the sort of legendary past, had been in like a human form, and he'd been against human sacrifice.
Okay.
But he kind of like lost like a competition of the gods against like the one who, every name I'm going to mispronounce, by the way.
Okay.
But this one goes like the smoking mirror, but it was like Quetzalcoatl or
Yeah.
something, whatever. But he lost that thing, and he left on a magical raft from an area called Tabasco
Sick.
with sort of like a prophecy that he was going to return at some point in a one-reed year, which is some astrological thing that
Right.
happens like irregularly, like every like 70 to 100 years.
Okay.
So he's going to come back, and his form then would be like he'd have white skin and a black beard and a hat with feathers on it.
Cool.
So then in 1519, which was a one-reed year, and they'd had all these like omens leading up to it, like the volcano by their city became active, and all the water, because their city Tenochtitlan is like built on a lake, so all the water.
Right. Yeah. They
all
were
the
like crazy. They built cities with like crazy implementation of water, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like it was. Yeah. It was. I think they did it because like there was some auspicious like eagle landed on a cactus or something. So they founded their city there, but it's on this like teeny island in a lake, which is where Mexico City was built on top of it.
Right.
So they got this like crazy temple city where you have to like cross these causeways and shit. But they had all these like omens, like lights in the sky, the water in the lake boiling, all this shit. So they were all like convinced that like this is the year Quetzalcoatl comes back, and he's gonna like overturn all of our institutions and our religion and all this shit. And then like in then Cortez shows up.
Damn.
He's got white skin and a black beard and a feathered hat. So they think they're like convinced that he's the return of like Quetzalcoatl.
Right.
Like down to like the day.
Yeah.
And he shows up at Tabasco, like right where Quetzalcoatl left from, on these like giant ships no one's ever seen before.
Damn.
And then I haven't really got to the end yet, but I believe it ends poorly.
Yes, from what I understand.
But they like Montezuma let them come into the city, which like Cortez had like 400 guys, and the Aztecs had like 150,000 soldiers.
Yeah.
So like the modern versions are kind of like they let them come into the city for reasons that we don't know, and it's like I like the older version better.
Well, yeah, there is a reason or there is not a reason. I'll take the one that has a reason.
Yeah. But it's such a...
That's so cool.
And like the 50s one, because obviously there's sort of a different sentiment about colonization back then.
Yeah.
So it just has like, a one sentence thing when they're on Cuba, like, the people who were on Cuba before, they had pretty carefree lives, but then they got enslaved and all worked to death. It's just one sentence.
Is what it is. That's like Johnny Rico's Filipino.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
is what it is.
But it's wild.
That's really cool.
'Cause even though there's definitely some like, nastiness.
Yeah.
And the Spanish did like massacre whole towns and stuff.
Sure.
There's something kind of wild about like you set out on a ship and you think you're on the edge of Asia. Like you don't know that the Americas exist.
Yeah.
You don't know that the Pacific Ocean exists.
Yeah.
And you find these people with like these wild like stone temple cities.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's really like as close. It's like encountering aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Like these people just had a totally different setup.
Do you ever go down the ancient aliens rabbit hole?
Not really. No.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's another one that it's like, well, right now there like isn't a reason for the pyramids. This one presents a potential reason.
What is the ancient aliens' reason for the pyramids? Or some like spacing?
Yeah, there's this
targeting
dude
system or something.
Graham, some British guy who's on Rogan all the time.
Oh, okay.
Some British dork who loves it, but it's like, he talks about like the pyramids and any like monolithic, like any like huge.
Because they had huge pyramids in like Mesoamerica.
Yeah. He talks a lot about that too, like Mesoamerica and like anytime there's like an ancient civilization with like huge structures.
Yeah.
Where it's like engineers just sit for hours and like collect a salary, like trying to figure out how they build it.
Mm-hmm.
He suggests that like a lot of those civilizations like had contact with aliens that taught them how to move things with sound.
Okay.
So they would play like specific vibrations.
So like
like through like the like,
like giant rocks.
They do like Harkonnen throat singing basically, and like
okay.
move the rocks because he then there's like science that I don't understand where like you can manipulate. You know how like when you have like a bowl of sand and then you play like a frequency, it'll take a pattern or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
So he's like, you could do that to larger shapes if the frequency is more finely tuned, and then it would float like nothing. And it's like, okay, sure. But again, it's like I'm into that because right now everyone's just like, well, we still don't really have like a concrete. Right now, our answer to the pyramids is slavery,
right?
Which is like,
I mean,
sure.
I prefer to think that, at least for the Mesoamerican ones, that their demonic forest gods are actually real.
Yeah.
Just help them with it.
Yeah, I think that's much cooler.
And they actually did like predict their own downfall and all that shit.
I prefer to think that Quetzalcoatl was an alien who lived in a fourth or fifth dimension, who knew that Cortez was coming.
Yeah,
that's what I would prefer to believe.
And I've just had Mesoamerican shit on the mind, so I rewatched Apocalypto.
Oh hell yeah!
Which might be one of the greatest movies ever made.
I gotta see that again.
It's so good.
It in so long.
It's such a banger movie.
Gibson doesn't really miss.
Not really, no.
That's
why they had to take him off the field.
He was too good.
Because his historical action movies were just
That's another case of
too good.
Him getting in trouble for that voicemail is another case of what was she doing right before he did that?
Yeah.
You know, as a male sympathizer podcast,
we're
always asking the question, what did she do right before the guy said that really horrible thing?
Yeah. Free Mel.
as a MGTOW podcast.
Yeah, what did she do to deserve this?
What happened precisely 10 minutes before that?
We're digging deeper. We're kind of like Fresh and Fit for white guys.
For cool white guys.
For why women deserve to be berated on the phone.
What happened 10 minutes before that voicemail? Same thing with Michael Richards. What happened 10 minutes before? No, I'm just kidding. Don't.
But, I think I'm gonna become a Mesoamerican forest god worshiper.
That seems like a safe bet.
You're becoming Muslim. I'm gonna become a
I don't know. I'm
Mesoamerican pagan, I guess.
I might become. This podcast would be crazy if I was an imam and you were wearing like you had like blood all over
witch
you,
doctors,
like ears. And we're just like
Yeah, that was the thing too. Like the one they, when Cortez first landed, Montezuma sent him a bunch of like gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
Including like a Quetzalcoatl mask,
Sick.
which somehow ended up in the British Museum. But they also sent a big fat slave, who all the Spanish assumed was like a nobleman or official or something. Who's this big fat guy.
Yeah.
But actually, he'd been fattened up for them to eat.
That's actually really funny.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And apparently all the Spanish just assumed that all the like Aztec gods were like real.
Yeah.
But they were just like demons that they were worshiping.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You show up and you see this like highly advanced culture that like claims to sustain itself off like providing hearts.
Yeah.
And you come from like a more civilized, you would be like, oh, they're worshiping demons.
Yeah, and like their priests would be like all like covered in blood and shit, and they were fond of drinking some like hallucinogenic drink made of chocolate and human blood.
I've heard about
with
that.
Other
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the old history is such a wild story. Even the new ones where they kind of like sanitize it down.
Yeah.
Still extremely cool.
Very cool.
And I mean, I know a lot of bad shit happened, largely because smallpox showed up right after and wiped out like half the population of the Americas, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
And like a lot of bad shit happened, but it's also just like, it's kind of like a romantic notion, like you go to explore. You know, it's a thing that's not available anymore.
Only on video games, pal.
That's why I game.
Why do I game?
Yeah.
I game because Alexander wept.
Yeah.
That's why I game.
And I guess maybe if we start going to space, we'll encounter cool aliens again. But thus far, that's about as close as we've come. Would be like guys first showing up in Central America. And I guess when like the first guys to run into China, like that would be wild too.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of guys playing Mahjong, and they already have Newport cigarettes.
Yeah, they're all smoking Newport cigarettes and playing Mahjong on their phones.
What the fuck is this? They're all doing heroin and smoking Newports.
Yeah. Yeah.
You imagine going to China and they're like, "Have you tried heroin? You try heroin? You're like, these guys are mystical. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You imagine being the first American explorer to try heroin in Asia?
Where did like opium come from? Did the Chinese have it first? Because I know later on, like the British forced everyone in China to become an opium addict. Is my understanding.
I think it was because that's what the Silk Road was like built for. Was
maybe silk.
Well, silk, but like also like opium was like a huge thing they transported on it.
I mean, I know they were. I think the Taliban, strangely, after the Americans got booted out, Afghanistan stopped producing so much opium. But
weird.
But I guess it's that part of the world.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it takes to produce opium, but
well, it's from poppies.
Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know.
Because I know the British kind of like forced it on the Chinese later, but maybe the Chinese were already doing it.
Someone in that area was doing it, I think.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to be the first British guy. And they're like, all right, go tame those savages. And then you go and they're like, have heroin. And you try something, you just gonk out for holy shit, this
country rules.
I fucking love it here, dude. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be so sick to live in like 1508 and just be like a heroin addict guy who shoots people.
The one white guy in China.
Just there for heroin.
Yeah.
Just chilling in Shanghai.
I mean, it would be suck in a lot of ways.
Mm.
Like people, I mean, it'll probably like if/when we do like space exploration, it'll be similar in that it like stinks because you're stuck in ships forever.
You'd get like a rash.
Because people forget how small those sailing ships are. Like my basement here is like bigger than those ships.
Yeah.
And you'd have like 200 guys, zero privacy, zero space,
shitting in a bucket that you throw out off the deck.
I mean, there's a reason. I know in the British Navy, the daily ration used to be a pint of rum a day.
That rules. That's great.
There
you
were
needed that.
8-year-olds on the ship and stuff, and you were so cramped. But then when you like land in Mexico and get worshipped as a god, you get fat slaves sent for you to eat,
or you go to like you accidentally land in like you hit like a the Sentinelese island.
Yeah,
And
I
as
mean,
soon
they're
as you
the
get off
last
the boat,
one left.
and then it's like, boop, 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 and you're like, oh my god! You just worked. You're 12 years old. All you know is working on a boat and getting hammered.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you touch foreign land, it's just
I mean, probably that's what the Aztecs should have done.
yeah.
Probably would.
Imagine if they were still going now.
Well, that's why it's so sad that like smallpox hit
Yeah.
them, because I don't think they would have been wiped. Like, well, and they are like they're still around to some extent, but the society got wiped out.
Yeah.
But like the people.
Yeah,
Like,
the ethnicity or whatever.
Yeah. But it is. I think it's very unfortunate that happened, because it would be really cool if there was like the Aztecs were still there. And they were still had crazy pyramids and still doing their heart sacrifices.
The closest we have is like some shit in like Africa and apparently like the Amazon. There's like a lot of uncontacted tribes that still do it the old way.
And North Sentinel Island. That's the last place to
where
colonize.
Who did they kill?
There's some missionary dude who showed up and they.
Imagine being the guy who gave him a boat ride, and you're like, "You sure about this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I got it." And then just watching him like row in from the shoreline, you just see like spears and arrows. Just
I think they literally did it while he was on the beach.
Yeah,
They didn't let him show up at all.
No, yeah, he got instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I think that is why like the government of India tries to keep people away, because of like disease exchange.
That's what I heard is like those people like biologically have like such a weaker immune system than most other people now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 'cause I think with like in the Aztecs and them, like the Europeans has just been dealing with smallpox for ages.
Yeah.
So basically, all of those guys have been exposed to it.
Yeah.
And like carrying it.
Yeah.
But like the people in the Americas never had, so they had no immunity to it.
Yeah.
So it's the same up here too. It was like a third to half of the population got taken out by smallpox.
Yeah. I was just watching a thing about North Sentinelese Island, and they were saying like a flu could like wipe out the whole island.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have. They've never been exposed to the same shit we have.
Yeah.
Imagine giving a guy from North Sentinel Island a Big Mac.
A Big Mac.
Imagine letting a guy from North Sentinel Island have a Diet Coke.
Have a Diet Coke and Doritos.
Imagine letting him play a video game.
Yeah. Just come back like 2 days later. He's 600 pounds.
He's wearing a skirt.
Yeah, getting groomed on Xbox Live.
Grooming?
You don't even have internet. How did this happen?
Imagine being like in a game lobby and some dude joins from North Sentinel Island. What is going on? Where are we?
Why are you all gay?
You're like, where are you? And he's like, I am from North Sentinel Island.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you guys... They gave us a gaming laptop.
They gave us a gaming laptop.
So now I'm looking for a girlfriend on RuneScape because I need better armor.
Yeah.
The white man come, he brings a gaming laptop. He calls that Alienware. And now he explains to me this game is like for magic. So I need more golden armor on RuneScape, please.
Yeah.
That would rule.
It would be cool.
Is that a racist sketch to do?
North
Sentinel guy gets a gaming laptop.
Yeah, I mean, giving him like a Ghana guy voice, maybe.
Just because. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
They probably sound different. It'd probably be more like.
Yeah, it'd probably be far more difficult. It's just funnier to give him Rwanda voice.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I am here in RuneScape.
I am looking for a RuneScape girlfriend.
I have heard this game is full of dark magic.
You imagine letting a North Sentinel guy play Civilization 6?
Damn.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
Imagine what we could accomplish.
Yeah.
With the Chrome Boys. Visit us on our website, northsentinelgamingrelieffund.org.
Airdrop gaming laptops into North Sentinel Island.
Gaming laptops and G Fuel. Imagine giving it. Well,
like pallets of G Fuel.
What would happen if a guy from like North Sentinel Island had like a large Red Bull? Because they're probably not used to that condensed of like a dose of like anything.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you got to consider these are guys who have never gamed in their lives.
The closest these guys have to gaming is fishing.
So I don't know if they would really be prepared to onboard that much gaming fuel. You know, and I'd have nowhere to channel it.
Maybe this is like the evil white guy in me. But like I think as an experiment, that's like a fascinating idea.
Yeah.
Like exposing like someone from like North Sentinel Island to like gaming is crazy.
Yeah.
How would they? What would happen? You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a element of evil white guy in me when I'm reading about the Cortez shit. 'Cause this is like, damn, that would be cool.
Damn,
Damn,
cool.
that's cool.
Damn, swag.
Damn, that's so swag. They got horses and dogs and shit, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, ah.
Yeah.
Because the Mexicans, apparently, according to this, it's actually more accurate to call them Mexicans than Aztecs.
Oh, okay.
The Aztecs was a term made up like hundreds of years later. And they were like the Mexica or something.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of confusing.
Cool.
But I guess the only dogs they had were little hairless dogs that they ate.
Cool little hairless guys.
That they ate for food.
Cool little hairless guys that you would eat.
That you eat. But yeah, they'd never seen cannons and shit.
See, that's what I want to recreate.
On really North Sentinel Island, or I guess like deep in the Amazon, is about the only place you can do that.
Yeah.
So doing a fucking like Fitzcarraldo style thing, where you've got all your like manservants carrying pallets of gaming laptops deep into the Amazon. Slowly going in crazy from jungle sickness.
Yeah, reaching the heart of darkness. I once saw a man on a server get groomed.
To set up like the Amazon wing of the FaZe clan. Doing FaZe clan colonialism in the Amazon.
Yeah, I'm into gaming colonialism.
Setting up hype huts deep in the Amazon.
What is going on? Welcome back. Today we are doing 9 different dance challenges.
Yeah, but that's kind of the only place left to do that until Elon gets off his fat ass and gets us into space.
And we can show fourth dimensional space beings gaming. Yeah, what do you think? Just this orb of light. What do you think of this? And then your eye just explodes.
It's like, look at this, level 99 in Diablo 2.
That's pretty hard.
That's really hard. You have no idea how long that takes.
And it just goes. And then you die.
And your atoms all fall apart.
Yeah, it's just the most radioactive thing ever.
Yeah.
All of your it approaches you and you age so rapidly all of a sudden.
It's like the big white guy from the beginning of Prometheus. Where he drinks that slime and his cells all die.
Yeah. I want to send an Alienware laptop into a black hole.
Yeah, that's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spend all of Earth's resources
shipping a FTL rocket to a black hole that's carrying nothing but a Alienware laptop preloaded with Diablo 4.
Yeah.
All of your latest modern gaming hits. Diablo 4. Any game with an ugly woman.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Call it Call of Duty.
Yeah.
The Nicki Minaj update.
Yeah.
Skyrim
with dog sex mods or whatever that British lady was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that if we want to show aliens our best, put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
It's Skyrim sex mods.
Oh yeah, that's where that was the prime.
Skyrim dog fucking mods.
And then just some orb of light receives it.
Yeah.
It's just like
just blinks out of existence.
Just creates like a supernova, takes out like 8 planets.
Yeah. The sun, all the celestial bodies just stop moving and fall.
Fall into the hands of a unfathomably big giant.
Yeah.
It's all just marbles.
Because we didn't sacrifice enough hearts.
What Will Smith movie was that?
Sorry, we're what?
Where the whole entire observable universe is like a marble being played by in a game of marbles by some like unbelievably large.
Oh.
What is that?
Yeah, that rings a bell. I don't know what.
I feel like I've seen it. I know it's Will Smith for some reason.
Right. It has like this sort of crazy like pan back at the end,
and
right?
then it's like this big green hand that like flicks the entire observable universe as like a little marble. It's not Men in Black, is it?
You know, I think it actually might be one of the Men in Blacks.
I mean, that would make sense. It's definitely not Wild Wild West.
Yeah, I feel like that might be like Men in Black 2 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, or it might even be the first one. But yeah, I think that is a Men in Black.
Imagine getting that guy a gaming laptop.
Whoa.
The big green guy.
Just a little teeny.
Microscopic.
He
gets groomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine we mail a Alienware laptop, the aliens get groomed?
Yeah, getting groomed by some 16-year-old.
What are you wearing? And it's like... and then it has a skirt on.
It's like, that's hot. It'd be really hot if you were in a dress.
I think you're a girl. Yeah, it's just some like mass of flesh that's the most radioactive thing alive.
But yeah, once we've played out doing our Perfect Guy Life cover cast,
yeah,
I would like to redecorate the space like an Aztec temple.
Why don't we just do that now?
Yeah, just start cutting my ears to get blood and splattering it all over the walls and shit.
Yeah, we could just get like bricks.
Yeah, bricks, have a nice little pyramid.
That'd be fun hauling 600 pounds of bricks into your basement.
Yeah.
And build a small temple right here.
A little temple to
That'd be cool, actually.
Well, Quetzalcoatl's the only one whose name I can remember. So
that's probably not that unattainable. We could get some like stick-on like brick, pattern textiles for the walls.
Mm-hmm.
That'd actually be cool.
'Cause somebody needs to bring it back.
I think it's swag.
It was a cool religion.
Yeah. We'll start wearing like nothing but
Loincloths.
Loincloths
and mantles.
We should start
scary ritual masks.
We should start ancient Mexican maxing.
Yeah.
AMM.
Shout out ancient Mexicans.
Like, getting a lot of sun, worshiping the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Staying away from evil forest demons.
Right.
Making sure that we're on good terms with the forest gods.
Yeah, you gotta.
You have to.
They'll wipe you out.
Look what's happening now.
Yeah, we weren't worshiping, and now the sun is getting blacked out.
The sun got blacked out. Bridges are collapsing.
Did you go and look at the eclipse?
I was literally gaming. I think I was gaming during the eclipse.
Well, I think we were only getting 20% coverage here, too. It's like, fuck that. That's not cool.
I'm fine.
Like, it's just millions of people staring directly at the sun.
Yeah, I'm good. I've seen Berserk. I'm not going to risk that kind of bullshit. Are you in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, with everything that I've been learning about forest demons and stuff, it's just risky to open yourself up to that type of thing.
Yeah, I'm not. The sort of things that invites.
Yeah.
And, me having battled a lot of angels in past lives, I'm very... It's triggering to see an eclipse, really.
Yeah.
As a guy who's spent a millennia battling.
Well, and I've learned how easy it is for teenagers to groom me online, so I imagine that some
celestial being,
5D demon would have no issue whatsoever.
What if that's their main goal, is grooming?
Yeah.
We finally encounter, it's like Annihilation, but it's like Annihilation, but the zone of interest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like Natalie Portman goes in and comes out and she's trans. She has like scars all over her leg. They're like, what happened? She's like, I don't remember anything.
I don't remember.
It was just like a
last thing I remember, I was booting up my Alienware laptop to do a little gaming to relax.
Yeah, and instead of like a cool like chrome clone thing, it's just this like, it's still like a chrome liquidus alien, but it's very fat.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a little chin beard.
Yeah.
And it's 17 years old and it's like, you need to kill homeless people.
You need to kill homeless people for Satan and for Hitler.
That's Homo Galactus?
That's Homo Galacticus, yeah.
For Satan and for Hitler.
Yeah.
This is good. Ancient civilizations are swag, though.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Have you delved into like the like Arctic Circle civilizations and shit?
No, were there some?
As people say, but every picture they post is like the most
clearly fake.
It's like it's sometimes they post a picture and they're like, here's evidence of ruins in the Arctic Circle, and then it's like, it's like this could just be like Wyoming.
Right. Well, I don't think they found any like. It's all like artist renditions.
Yeah,
right?
there's no actual picture.
Yeah.
Like people read what's that Lovecraft book?
I mean, maybe at some point they will find some. I don't know.
Maybe it is like a huge landmass.
Yeah, I know. Like under Mexico City, I guess every now and again they'll find shit. Like
That's
they
the other
found
thing.
Montezuma's meditation room,
Cool.
which was like a windowless room painted totally black on the inside.
Cool.
Where he'd go to ponder, and they uncovered that.
He had a goon cave.
It was his goon cave. Yes.
Montezuma had a goon cave.
And one of the funniest things about Montezuma is, have you heard of Montezuma's Revenge?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's where like tourists get diarrhea.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
What?
him reaching out from beyond the grave.
Why does that
Punish.
actually happen?
I mean, I think it happens from like
Just travel?
fucked up water, or eating Mexican food or something.
It's because you guys can't stop buying enchiladas from a dude who's like cooking them. They're full of like street dog meat and like
Yeah, but I prefer to think it's just him from beyond the grave
yeah. Oh yeah.
getting his revenge.
Get out of
For
my
his-
goon cave.
Get out of my goon cave.
Yeah, that's sick. I've heard that they're like in the Amazon. There's like that same Graham guy, that Ancient Aliens dude,
Yeah.
was saying that they're still uncovering like mad and this might be totally fake, and I don't know. And it's like it's very hard to check this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to. Also, we talk a lot about when I game, my
Yeah.
reality can be whatever I want.
Yeah.
not-
That's why I much prefer the
50s
the
version.
older one
Yeah.
of like them exactly predicting their own destruction
Yeah.
via their like magic rights.
That's cool.
I think that's so much more cool than just like, well, we don't really know why this unexplainable thing happened.
Yeah, shut up. Leave it at the cool one then.
Yeah.
But like there's two dudes that Joe Rogan has on that make his episodes listenable front to back.
Yeah.
That Graham guy,
Yeah.
and then he has this other dude, Paul something.
He's also an Ancient Aliens guy.
He's a guy who like lives half the year in the Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Very cool dude.
Right.
But both of them were talking about how like in the Amazon through like deforestation basically,
Mm-hmm.
they're still uncovering like ruins that are like the size of like cities.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I mean, like
everywhere.
they had, because there's different. I think like further south in like South America, you get like the Incas, who I don't know a ton about, but they had like pyramids and shit.
Yeah.
And some of like the Central American ones, they had like bigger pyramids than like the Egyptians did.
Yeah.
They're sort of a different style where they're kind of like they go on like sort of stepped rather than like smooth.
Yeah.
But they had huge pyramids
That's sick.
and like like stone cities and
Yeah. Well, and
all kinds of stuff.
The other thing that lends itself to the aliens theory is like the pyramids in Egypt. They're like, and I don't know exactly because again, this is a fat retard cast.
Yeah.
But like they're in some way like perfectly aligned with.
Well, like the cardinal directions.
Yeah, they're like like to like zero margin of error.
Yeah.
They're like which is like how the fuck do you do that?
I don't know.
How do you do that when you're?
I mean, I find the explanation that magic is real more compelling than it was aliens. But
Yeah.
kind of
I
to
think
a manner of degree, you know.
Could be both because like which sci-fi author was it that said that was talking about the idea of like there will come a certain point where like sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah. And I do like the I don't know if this is a conspiracy or a parapolitical thing, but that there were ancient civilizations that had technologies we can't even conceive.
Yeah.
Sort of like magic.
Yeah,
Because I don't really know how you would align the pyramids so well.
without like satellites and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the Aztecs and them, they were like super good at like astronomy and stuff.
Yeah,
So like their calendar had like 365-day year and all that kind of
yeah,
all that stuff.
which is like, how do you guys figure that out?
Looking at the stars.
What are you guys up to over
Drinking blood.
there? Yeah, the forest gods.
Yeah.
That's much cooler. It's much cooler for me to think of it as that than like. Well, actually, we're not sure, so we can't say anything for sure.
Yeah, like I was listening to this like modern history podcast about it, and it was all like, we really can't tell you why Montezuma let them into the city, and it's
Because it was a prophecy,
it
you
was
idiot.
a prophecy. They thought he was a god.
What do you mean you can't guess? There is. Well, that seems weird to me. It's like there's one explanation or there's none.
Yeah,
Take the one.
And like the one from the 50s, it's based on like relatively contemporary accounts,
Right.
which I mean are going to be skewed a bit. But it's like one of Cortez's men wrote a memoir, and then there was some friar who was there soon after who like had a bunch of like the natives as his like students and taught them to Spanish and stuff, and they wrote it down. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Joe Rogan Experience.
The Joe Rogan Experience. Whoa! What if the Aztecs were actually magic?
You ever see the Aztec? What if an Aztec had to fight a bear, dude?
Damn.
Yeah. Who would win? Probably
is.
the Aztec.
It is cool though.
It is cool.
Wow.
That's like that's a much cooler reality than what we have now.
Yeah.
And it like lends itself to like being more okay with the way things are now versus it was like, well, we just don't know anything.
Yeah. We just need to bring back magic. But not evil magic. Good good magic.
Good
Internet magic.
This show is internet magic.
My Discord magic group. 18 plus, but not really.
My Discord magic group. Magic, you know. Yeah, where we do good magic that isn't Hitlerist at all.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Satan and Hitler and killing homeless people.
Yeah, welcome to the Hitlerist Mage Discord server.
Wizards for the Third
Reich. We're
Reich.
trying to reincarnate Hitler via cum tributes.
Welcome to the Mages of the Third Reich Discord group.
What's funny is those groups are actually real. Trying to resurrect Hitler via cum tributes on Discord is not actually that far off of what they're doing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The world is so full of glue traps.
Yeah.
The world is so full of glue traps, boys.
Yeah.
Stay vigilant.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to get got by a glue trap. We got by the racist podcasting.
Yeah, look at us now.
But like everyone's going to get got by some form of a glue trap.
Yeah.
So make sure the one you're in is good.
It was cooler when people just assumed that magic was real, though.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of science.
Imagine the first time you saw a guy do the finger thing.
Yeah.
You know, imagine having never had a phone. Remember when you were 6 and someone did that?
And you're like, what the fuck? Give it back. When someone took your nose, you're like, give it back.
Remember when you saw a guy in like a fedora do the thing where he said he's going to inflate his head and then he leans against the wall and the hat like goes up? You ever see that?
No.
I saw my mom dated a magician for like a couple weeks.
Hell yeah.
I forgot about
That's
this.
how you're so in tune with the spirit world.
That's why I'm so in tune with the spirit world. That's why I'm bred for performing. That's why I'm a showman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, she like dated a magician for a little while. Not very long because he was a magician, but
right.
I remember specifically he was like, I can inflate my head. And I was like 7 and I was like, okay. And then he like was like he had this like he had a fedora on.
Yeah.
You can only do it with a 360 brim hat.
Right.
He had a fedora on and then he put his thumb in his mouth and then he went like and then like leaned back and the fedora went like that. When I was 7, I was like, what the motherfuck did you just do? What the hell is that? What the fuck was that?
What the hell is that? Mom! Mom!
He's a wizard. Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, imagine being that, but you're like a grown adult in 1645.
Yeah.
And you see, you go to see some, or I guess like 1570 or whatever.
Yeah.
You sail to some foreign land and then you see like the most insanely built temples you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, and like the guy who wrote the memoir was saying like some of the like cities around the towns around the lake were like, you know, the most beautiful cities he's ever seen. These like garden cities built on temples and little like channels you could canoe down to the lake and shit.
Yeah.
And the Spanish did massacre all those people and destroy the city.
It's human nature to see something that you don't have and go, I need to break that.
We're just gonna smash that down. And yeah, they smashed all their cool demon statues and gave them a little picture of the Virgin Mary. Like this is what you do now.
It's such a human thing. Is like having like a shitty, not even shitty, but like, you know, a Spanish village.
Yeah.
And then seeing like coming from that That's what we do now with like the rainforest being like, we should put a fucking Walmart right there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you go to this like gorgeous like you couldn't even guess how they built this city, and then you're like, we need to put huts here.
Yeah.
We need to put
a Pizza Hut.
we need to put mud huts here. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna build it on a lake. Fuck you. We're building it on the hills.
Yeah.
Little hovels.
It is too bad though. I wish the Aztecs were still around.
Yeah.
I guess there's Mexico is still there, but
yeah, but now Mexico they're having truck war.
Yeah, they're doing truck wars, not cool magic spells.
They're cutting people's heads off. They're having truck war.
There's no space in the modern world for a cool mage guy.
Except for this show. Welcome magicians. Welcome
magicians, dark and white.
Warlocks. Wizards, magicians.
No witches.
No witches.
No witches.
Wizards.
No witches allowed.
Wizards are allowed.
Yeah.
The more wizened, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But welcome. This is your respite.
Right.
Welcome, mages, wizards, warlocks. Fireball casters.
Fireball casters. I mean, I would like to become a magic guy. If anyone out there knows any good codexes
or tomes,
any good PDFs of codexes or tomes I should check out.
If you would like
only if it can work on a Kindle. If you have any good magic codexes that are Kindle,
what's the
Kindle version?
What's the best tome, Kindle, any form of Necronomicon?
Yeah.
That is on the Amazon Prime store.
Yeah, that I can get on Amazon Prime.
Like, imagine looking at your Kindle library. Like like you're on a date and the girl's like, "Let's switch Kindles and see what you have." And she looks over yours and it's just like tome of fire spells, tome of defense magic, codex of ice magic. And hers is like true crime books. That's such a swag move on a date.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to look at my Kindle?
Yeah, and it's all how to
peep my grimoires.
How to incinerate women who won't kiss you with your mind.
That's our fresh and fit book.
Yeah.
It's how to cast spells on women that don't like you. How to explode women that don't like you. The cover is that frame of Dr. Manhattan exploding.
How to do shit like from the movie Scanners on women who won't date you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to handle rejection with a spell.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're just starting our slow transition into a
mage cast.
Into a mage cast.
What kind of mage are you going to be?
Fire.
Fire.
Maybe fire and a multi-spec into shadow magic.
That's sick.
Yeah, what about you?
I'd like to be a weather wizard.
A weather, like Storm from X-Men.
Yeah. I'd like to be a weather wizard.
Yeah.
Please.
Weather.
Or you know what? Druids are welcome here as well.
Like a shapeshifter druid, like from Diablo?
Yeah, I'm going to say druids are allowed as well.
Yeah, we'll let some druids in. Druids, wizards, mages, warlocks, casters.
Yeah. Leave a comment what class of wizard or mage you are.
Witch doctors, shamans.
Witch doctors for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And exorcists.
Exorcists.
Yeah. That's a form of wizard, I would say.
And we'll slowly groom our audience until we all spec into a class of magic. And we'll conquer North Sentinel Island. With our spells.
Imagine reading that. Group of autistic wizards take over North Sentinel Island.
Instantly killed on the beaches of North Sentinel Island.
Imagine giving a Sentinelese guy a vaccine.
Damn.
Like, what would happen?
Would
they die?
That's
we're almost dying.
That's a type of dark magic that's too far for even me.
These readings are too dark. That's the Necronomicon. You imagine reading H.P. Lovecraft's The Necronomicon. At the end is one chapter. It goes, imagine giving a Sentinelese guy a vaccine. This is evil.
You just turn into a pillar of salt.
Close this book. Do not open this book under any circumstances. And page 1, what if you gave a Sentinelese guy a vaccine?
A vaccine.
Oh, my God.
Just wake up and covered in sweat. It's too horrible to comprehend.
Oh my God! Is the Undertaker a wizard?
Maybe.
I'm gonna say he's a wizard.
Or he's fighting them.
Yeah, he could be the bane of a wizard's
on
existence.
the side of no, he's definitely on the side of darkness. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, he's a necromancer.
Yeah.
That was his thing.
Right.
When I was a kid, that guy was a wizard. Even when he was a biker.
Yeah.
He was a wizard.
Biker wizard.
Well, I saw the one time. It was the same thing as when my mom dated that magician. Like the one time on Raw or whatever, where like
he pulled his thumb off.
Undertaker he'd get slammed and he'd sit up and then he'd look over at the guy and go, "Got your nose.
Got your nose."
I remember once on Raw, they like wheeled a casket out, and then they did like TV special effects, I think, or maybe it happened in the arena.
Yeah,
they made it look like lightning struck the casket.
Oh damn!
And then it like exploded, and then he came out.
Damn.
When I was like 8, I was like, okay, well that's a wizard.
Well, that's
Okay, what the fuck is that? We're watching wrestling. This guy's literally casting spells.
Casting spells. Is that allowed? Mom, get in here.
Mom! He's casting spells. Undertaker's using revival magic again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like being a wizard.
It's fun.
Wizard shit is so swag.
Yeah. I mean, I just started in this last week. I untapped all my magic spells.
Activated your tomes and grimoires?
Yeah. Well, just reading about all the Aztec stuff, I was like, whoa, that's literally me.
Reading about Montezuma and being like literally me.
Yeah, reading about the Aztec priest scientists choosing the most beautiful youth to dance for 31 days. And then they give them the chocolate and blood drink, and they dance for 9 more days.
Damn.
And then they eat him. I was like, damn, literally me.
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a heavy wizard cast.
Yeah, we should need to get headdresses.
Yeah, honestly, it'd be cool to redecorate this room as I mean, as much as I love being a PGL cover cast.
With the 1-to-1 replica.
Exact perfect replica of the PGL set.
Yeah.
I would like to decorate this place as like a wizard's tower.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Like, put a big like a fake window back there with like some lightning striking, mossy brick wallpaper.
Well, you know what they say? The wizard's tower is the opposite of the longhouse.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
They say the wizard in his high tower fears no 9/11.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, once the Patreon kicks off, I will construct
the wizard tower.
The wizard tower.
Books everywhere, globes.
Yeah, globes.
Jars.
Tomes. Yeah, jars with like pickled heads and stuff.
Loose frogs everywhere.
Altars. Beakers.
Candles.
Yeah.
We're halfway here.
Alchemists. That's another one who's welcome here.
Yeah.
Alchemists.
We're making steps.
It's a real human skull, by the way.
Real. We blow healing powders through this.
Yeah.
We're close to wizard room.
Yeah.
We're very close to.
Yeah, we're 90% of the way there. We got a skull. There's a glass fish.
We just need some jars.
A powerful omen. Glass fish. I mean, ancient Aztecs, when they would be fishing and they would catch a glass fish, this actually was such a fish. They caught the glass fish, and all the shamans were like,
"We can't eat
this. This is the end. This glass fish is an omen.
It's so over." All the shamans said, "It is over." It's printed in ancient documents. It is so over.
It is so over. And Montezuma wept.
For it was over.
For it was over.
And as Cortez slayed the last Mexican, he uttered under his breath, "We are so back."
And then they founded Mexico City, and the rest is history.
And it was up from there.
Yeah.
They got rid of that bullshit society, and everything got better from there.
Yeah.
How long are we at here? Oh, we're good.
Yeah.
We're clearing it.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Thank you for joining us for the Mesopotamian Discourse.
The Mesopotamia cast.
The Mesopotamia cast.
Peace. See you on the Patreon side.